be good friends. We could be good friends. We could be good friends, yeah. We could be good friends. 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 We could be good friends, yeah. We could be good friends. We could be good friends, yeah. Each time you leave me, it's harder. Feels like I'm stuck underwater. Can't hold my breath. Don't know what's there. No. Na 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 na. Every day, look away. Na 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 na. Every day, look away. We could be good friends.
If you can hear me, give me a 2 in the chat. I'm going to be on the screen in a second, but give me a 2 in the chat if you can hear me. Just making sure that everything is running well and swell. Hello, everybody. How are you? Again, give me a 2 in the chat if you can hear me. Good, good, good. We are in here. So, let me know if whether or not you have ever heard of single strand knots. Give me a yes in the chat if you have ever heard of the term single strand knots. And if you have not only heard of the term single strand knots, but maybe you are a person who suffers from single strand knots, right? Maybe it's something that you deal with. Let me know in the chat because that is what we are talking about today. Okay. It's something that is a really, really big topic of conversation just across social media, period, especially when it comes to, and this isn't like team natural type of thing. It doesn't matter. We're just talking about the science of hair today, right? And so most people have coined the term, right? And coined the term single string knots, but that is actually not the term, right? If you are not familiar with me, my name is Sin, and I am a licensed cosmetologist, a research scientist, trichologist, herbalist, and entrepreneur, a couple of other different things, right? But today we are going to dive into hair shaft disorders because if we can not only understand single strand knots, we can really, really understand how to prevent them from happening. But it is actually a hair shaft disorder known as trichonodosis. Okay. And this is what it looks like, right? But this is what you guys see or know or recognize as single strand knots, but it is really known scientifically as trichonodosis, right? And it is an actual hair shaft disorder. Now, today, what I want to do is dive into a couple of the different causes of this hair shaft disorder. And this is the thing that is going to be pivotal in everybody not only healing themselves from this hair shaft disorder, but preventing it in the first place. And this is going to be something that will be kind of controversial for some. So if you are in a place where you are open to receive, please give me a number 3. Say 3, I'm ready. Give me a 3 and let me know that you are ready because we are diving deep into this today. Okay. because not only do I want to give you the tools, right, that you need to understand this hair shaft disorder, right? I want you to really understand the cause. So when I'm making these different videos telling you guys what to do and what not to do, is not to be combative, my content versus their content or anything like that. No, if you can understand scientifically what these different hair shaft disorders are, what causes them, then you can then go back and self-reflect, because I'm not telling you to take anything that's coming out of my mouth as per book. I want you to do your own research, right? But as I'm giving you this information, I need you to be able to go back to the drawing board, right? And as you go back to that drawing board, I want you to really have some accountability. But the only way that you're really going to get this is if you really are able to say, okay, I messed up. Okay, here's where I'm making my mistake. So before I start talking, let me know, am I in the presence of a bunch of people who can receive? Give me a three. Give me another three if you are able to receive. And by the way, I did a little edit for our lives where you can only comment if you subscribe. So hopefully, grandkids, it'll limit the grandchildren we have here. Okay, so I'm gonna take myself off the screen just so you guys can focus on the screen and not me. Okay. So hopefully you guys can make this bigger for yourselves, but this is how we're gonna be. And I just got done running up the stairs before we started, so I'm breathing a little hard. We'll get it together. Okay. So today we are talking about trichinodosis, and we're also going to talk about another hair shaft disorder, this right here, and we are also going to go over hydra fatigue. Okay, we are going to go over all of these things, and this is really something that I need to make sure if nobody else is here, everybody within the 7-day challenge is here, even though they know all of this. We are going deep into application after this is over with within the private 7-day challenge group. So let's lock in. So trichinodosis. Trichinodosis is commonly known as a hair shaft disorder, right? So it is known as the hair shaft, and this refers to a condition that is characterized by the formation of knots or tangles in the hair. While there can be various factors contributing to this condition, here are six possible causes. Now, this is what it looks like under an electron microscope, and this is what the single strands look like really, really close, or like what you would see more visually if you were to pick a single strand out, put it on the counter, and take a picture on your phone, right? So this is what it looks like. Let me know really quick in the chat. Give me some vibes in the chat if you have ever experienced these single strand knots, or if it is something that you are dealing with right now, right? Let me know in the chat. All right, so let's keep going. So number one is going to be hair texture. So most people with a naturally curly or curved hair, so that's us, okay, are more prone to trichinodosis due to the structure of the hair strand, which can easily interlock and form knots. Okay. Now, hair length is another thing. The longer the hair is, the more susceptible it is to tangling and knot formation, particularly if not properly maintained regularly detangled. So, number one, I don't want us to skate over these things. Number one, if your hair is curly, of course, it's going to be more prone to being knotted and tangled. This has nothing to do with old black hair and the way the Lord made it. If you have a bunch of like just curly pieces of ribbon, right? A bunch of curly pieces of ribbon are going to tangle a lot faster than the straight pieces are. So it has nothing to do with race. It's just all about the structure of the hair. So if we're talking about keeping the hair free from tangles or trying to maintain the rate in which the hair tangles, we're going to really, really have to look at the way that we're maintaining our hair, right? And then again, length. Number 3 is going to be hair care practices. Aggressive brushing, combing, or styling the hair, and those different techniques can damage the hair's cuticle, leading to increased tangling and knot formation. A lot of people are not going to want to hear this, but most naturals, you only detangle your hair wet, and your hair is a fiber that is weakest when it is wet. There are 3 bonds holding the hair together. One of them is the hydrogen bond that is broken by water. H2O, hydrogen bond, it's like no brainer. So your hair is weakest when wet. So when you are aggressively brushing your hair when it is wet, detangling your hair with conditioner, and globs and globs and globs of hair are coming out, that is one of the main causes, if not the number one leading causes of single strand knots, because with all of that hair that's in the brush, right, that's hair that broke off, and that broken end is going to knot up, thus your single strand knots. Okay. Next up is going to be environmental factors. Exposure to wind, humidity, and friction from certain types of clothing or bedding can contribute to tangling and knot formation, especially if the hair is not adequately protected or managed. Remember, everything that I'm saying ends with it all is the conduit of it is all based on your ability to properly maintain your hair. So, everything that I'm saying, as long as your hair is being combed at the end of the day, and as long as your hair is being set in a way where you are able to separate it properly, then it's never going to be a problem. Okay. The next up is going to be chemical treatments. Overuse or improper application of hair treatments such as coloring, perming, or straightening can weaken the hair shaft, making it more prone to tangling and knot formation. Number 6 is going to be lack of moisture. Dry and brittle hair is more likely to tangle and form knots. Insufficient hydration or the use of harsh hair products that strip moisture from the hair can exacerbate this condition. Now, do not leave, because one of the main issues that is draining people's pockets and clouding people's minds, right, is people's lack of understanding of what moisture and hydration is. Because moisture and hydration are 2 completely different things. And the more moisture risers, the more products you add to your hair, the more you dehydrate your hair. Let's get into it. Okay. Combing the hair when wet. One common misconception is that it's safe to detangle the hair when wet, especially when aided with conditioner. Now, while conditioner can provide slip and temporarily reduce friction, combing wet hair, particularly when it's lathered in conditioner, can actually contribute to trichonodosis. Listen, it is one of the leading causes, but it is the number one thing that you do. If you ask any woman with naturally curly hair, how do you detangle your hair? She's going to tell you, drench your hair in conditioner and then comb it. But you guys, when you are a trichologist or when you study trichology, the number one cause for single strand knots is detangling your hair with conditioner. Detangling the hair while it's wet is the number one cause of single strand knots. It is the number one cause of trichonodosis. So, and it's not something that's up for debate, because I have yet to meet a woman with natural hair that doesn't have single strand knots. I've yet to meet a woman who does wet detangling with conditioner and the detangling conditioning brush that doesn't have single strand knots, that doesn't have trichinodosis. Combing through tangled or knotted wet hair, even with the assistance of conditioner, can cause strands to become furtherly entangled. As the comb or brush encounters resistance from the knots, there is a tendency to exert more force, which can weaken the hair shaft and cause more breakage. So, you guys think that you are actually helping detangle your hair by adding conditioner, but you're not. It's the same thing. If you have a knot in your hair, this is a microscopic knot. If you have a regular knot in front of you and you pull that regular knot, what's going to happen? The knot's going to get tighter. You have to unravel a knot to get it loose. You can't pull it. And you combing and brushing your hair when you have single strand knots, or you combing and brushing your hair when it's tangled, is not detangling it. You are exerting more pressure, and that exertion of pressure will result in more tangles. That is why single strand knots are one of the leading causes of breakage through women with naturally curly hair. It is. And again, a lot of people don't want to hear it, but it's the truth, okay? Now, over time, this can really, really make trichinodosis really, really bad, as it weakens the strands and is more prone to developing knots and tangles. This is why you can keep getting your hair cut. You're like, oh my God, I cut all of my knots off, and no matter what, I still have them. You know why? Because your practices are still the same. You're still doing the same things. So she can cut your hair off, or he can cut your hair off until they're blue in the face. You're going to keep having the knots because you still have all of these same practices. It has to stop. But most people don't want to hear this. Now, here's the next one. Have you guys heard of this hair shaft disorder? Before I move on, let me know. Give me an 8 if everybody is okay. So, but what is the best way to detangle the hair? I'm gonna get there in a second, but the best way to detangle your hair is dry with oil. That's the way we do it in a hair salon. If you walk into a hair salon and I'm taking your braids out, when I take your braids out, I'm not adding water on the spray bottle to detangle your hair. I'm gonna put some hemp seed oil on my hands and I'm gonna unravel the braids, and then I'm gonna comb them out as I go. In 15 years standing behind the chair, I've never used water. That's a YouTube thing. Y'all got that from YouTube. Professional cosmetologists never told y'all to do that. YouTube told y'all to do that. Okay? Let's keep going. So here is another hair shaft disorder. Give me a 3 if you have heard of this hair shaft disorder. You're dealing with it right now. Problem for past 20 years. Okay, so everybody who said that they're dealing with it right now, can you, from everything that I've just listed, can you have some transparency with me right now, my sister, and let me know, is this something, are these practices that I named, are those practices things that you follow? Do you follow practices that lead to trichinodosis? These are the things that I really want us to sit here and think about, right? Hey, boo. These are the things that I really, really want us to sit here and think about, because don't get me wrong, like, I get it. Everybody makes mistakes. I've made mistakes. So now we are going to talk about trichorexis nodosus. It's always a tongue twister for me. Trichorexis nodosa is the one that we are talking about right now. Okay. And I'm going to get back to you guys in the comments in a second. I just want to get through this because I got to take a little break in between going live for the 7-day challenge. All right. So this one is a hair shaft disorder characterized by weak points in the hair shaft, leading to the formation of nodes, nodules, and nodes along the hair shaft. Okay, and here are 6 causes of trichorexis nodosa that do not involve heat or chemicals, right? So I'm making a, excuse me, I'm specifically telling you that this does not involve heat or chemicals. I'm not going into those because we know what using heat and chemicals wrong can do, right? We're not focused on that because remember, for the last 20 years, right? Because that's how long Team Natural has been going on, a little longer than that. Um, everybody has kind of been under this preconceived notion that the only thing that damages the hair is heat styling or tools or blow dryers, and that is not true. Okay, so this hair shaft disorder we're going to get into, it has nothing to do with chemicals or hot tools. Number one, mechanical damage. Excessive brushing, combing, or styling, especially when done aggressively or with harsh tools, can weaken the hair shaft and contribute to the formation of nodes. Now, we just went over detangling the hair when it is wet with conditioner. We just went over that. So, everybody, almost everybody does that. It's something that no, like, and if I say don't do it, remember, nobody understands what to even do if not to do it with conditioner. When before Team Natural, nobody ever did that. Like, I remember being in cosmetology school and getting cussed out by my instructor because I picked up some conditioner and attempted to look like I was going to use that. Like, it is the biggest no-no, right? So next up, traction alopecia, prolonged or repeated tension on the hair follicle, often due to tight hairstyles like braids, ponytails, or extensions, can lead to the hair shaft disorder. Now, the thing about this is, when it's coming to braids and weaves and things of that nature, everything is supposed to be done in seasons. But the problem is, we pick a hairstyle and we like, I'm wearing this forever. Like, when I was standing behind the chair, I would have clients, like, if they will wear weaves, they will wear weaves literally for the entire time I did their hair. I did their hair for 6 years. For 6 years, the only thing I did was weaves, and I'm the only person who touched their hair. So those are the type of things that lead to braids and different hairstyles being damaging. Braids and ponytails and stuff like that, those are for special occasions. A lot of people are not going to like to hear this next part. Everybody is not supposed to constantly have a hairstyle. For the last 20 years, YouTube has been around as it pertains to Team Natural and stuff, and it has made Black women believe that you always have to have your hair in a different style. And that's in your head, because if you are under 30, all you know about hair care is YouTube. That's all you know. So in your mind, mentally, as a Black woman, you supposed to have a different hairstyle all the time. That is wrong. This is not a comparison of Black women to women from other races, but if you think of the woman with the longest hair you've ever seen in your life, like, I don't know, it just popped up in my head. Her hair is not the longest, but her face and name, Angelina Jolie. How many different hairstyles have you seen Angelina Jolie have in your career, in your life? Just name every woman in your head that pops up with hair today, but how many different hairstyles have you seen them in? You can name without using all of your fingers. And even if we don't talk about celebrities, I only brought up celebrities because those are the only people that we both know. But living in Vegas, I am like almost always the only Black girl around. Everybody always wears their hair exactly the same way. There are people that I was friends with when I was like 16, when I first got to Vegas. And now today, in our 30s, they still wearing their hair the same way. One of my friends, she been wearing her hair parted on the left side of her head since I met her, and it's still on that same left side. Yes, it is to her. But we're not supposed to always have a whole bunch of hairstyles, which leads me to the next one. Hair manipulation, twisting, pulling, and excessive handling the hair can cause damage and weaken the hair shaft, making it more susceptible to nodules. Okay. So the more tugging and pulling, like crochets and all of these different hairstyles that cause you to layer products on top of the hair, and like all of these bantu knots and all of this stuff, right? All of these different ponytails and stuff that y'all doing, these are supposed to be for special occasions, like you going on a trip, okay? You working out, or you have like this little weight loss thing that you want for the next 3 months, so you're gonna get some braids, and for the next 3 months you have braids, or you have an outbreak for HS like me in your scalp, and you like, okay, I'm gonna give myself 3 months, and I'm gonna put myself on this schedule. That's one thing, but for the year, for the rest of your life, Craig, for 6 years, all you putting on is a frontal, that's a problem, right? And also, again, down to me talking about different hairstyles, you don't want to be constantly manipulating your hair. The more you manipulate your hair, the more you're going to weaken it and cause different nodules to form. All right. Next up is going to be nutritional deficiencies, because inadequate intake of essential nutrients, particularly proteins and minerals like iron and zinc, can compromise hair health and contribute to the development of this hair shaft disorder. So, this is why I'm always giving you guys all of the different herbal complexes that you can take. Check the playlist in the description box below. But that's why we're always going over that, because holistically, you have to make sure that if you're doing everything you're supposed to do from the outside, you have to make sure that everything is good on the inside. Because remember, we work from the inside out, not the outside in. All right, number 6 is going to be medical conditions. Certain medical conditions, such as hyperthyroidism, malnutrition, or disorders affecting the hair structure, like these other hair shaft disorders, can increase the development of this one. All right, so addressing these underlying factors may help you to prevent yourself from getting these disorders in the first place. Now, let me know real quick. We're going to pause before we get to the difference between moisture and hydration, right? Let me know if you guys are with me. Did I lose anybody? Give me an 8 and say, seeing I'm feeling great. Give me an 8 and say, I'm feeling great. I just want to make sure everybody was with me. Yes, thought you need moisture to detangle. We're about to go over what moisture and what hydration is in a minute, because once y'all understand what moisture and hydration is, then y'all won't be so confused. But people on YouTube have literally been making stuff up as they go, right? Because they don't understand. And so let's keep going. Let me get to it. Yes, I used to detangle while my hair was wet. Are those holes in hair? Yes. They would get weaves and keep wearing them back to back. Yep, exactly. Exactly. 8, feeling great. Oh, I like that one. 8, it's never too late. Oh, I like that one. Okay. Let's get back here. Now, okay. I need everybody listening to the sound of my voice right now in the chat to say, Sin, I'm paying attention. I got a pen and paper. Yeah, I got a pen and paper. I got my phone right now. Because if you don't listen to anything else that I say, I need you to listen to this. Because this right here is what is costing y'all money. This right here is the part that everybody's missing. And if y'all don't understand this, this is the reason why they able to get all of y'all money. Constantly trying, oh, you need moisture. Y'all don't understand what moisture actually is. Okay? Y'all got it? Y'all ready? Okay, let's get into it. And I need everybody to screenshot this part too. If you're on your phone, screenshot this. I need you to have this. I need you to have it and research it for yourself. Okay. So, moisture. Moisture refers to the presence of water or liquid in a substance, particularly in context, the skin or hair. It represents the amount of water content present within the outermost layers of the skin or hair strand. Listen to me. It represents the amount of water content present within the outermost layers of the skin or hair strand. Moisture is crucial for maintaining health and flexibility and elasticity. Okay? Moisture is the state of being damp or containing water, typically in the form of vapor or liquid. In skincare or hair care, moisture is essential for maintaining a proper balance of water content in the skin or hair, preventing dryness and promoting overall health and resilience. But what I need everybody to write down, you see this, right? But what I need you to write down, and it was really, really important. Y'all need to learn how to not just read over stuff and only focus on the part that you want. Because what happens is, and this is the reason why I put the definition, Webster's definition in there, because I want y'all to see how you read the definition of moisture, which we're going to get back to in a second. But because the only reason that you're looking for moisture is because your hair is dry, you're not really looking at this for understanding. You're looking at it for, okay, how can this go into hair? How can I get moisture from hair? No, but you're ignoring the important part. So the part that jumped out to you, right? In skincare and hair, moisture is essential for maintaining the proper balance of water content in the skin and hair. So this is why understanding the hair is important, because hair, the actual human hair shaft, does not hold any moisture within itself. The skin does, but the hair does not. The hair does not hold any water within itself. It does not. So it doesn't work like that. That is why the sebum that is coming out of your scalp is so important, because hair, the human hair shaft, does not hold water within itself. The skin does, though. But let's keep going, okay? So let's read back over this definition of moisture. It represents the amount of water content present within the outermost layers of the skin or hair strand, right? So, yes, your hair can absorb water from the environment, but this is why your cuticle is not being covered is so important, because, yes, your hair is going to absorb it, but it's releasing it just as fast as it is absorbing it. That's why I always talk about your porosity, and whether or not you have low, high, or medium porosity is going to determine what products and stuff you're using, because your porosity, listen, your porosity is going to determine how your hair is able, how and how much of that moisture vapor your hair is able to hold on to temporarily. But your hair shaft is not supposed to hold any moisture within itself, because if it does, that is where hydro fatigue comes in. Okay? Again, moisture, it represents the amount of water content present within the outermost layer of the skin or hair. Listen, moisture has nothing to do with penetrating. Moisture is about what's laying on top. Moisture is about what's on the outer layer of the skin, the outer layer of the hair. You're not, so when they say, oh, this moisturizer seeps into your hair, a moisturizer is only for the outer layer. It's not, a moisturizer is not, its job is not to penetrate. So deep penetrating moisturizer, a moisturizer is supposed to go is on the outer layer. But hydration is different. Hydration, on the other hand, refers to the process of replenishing and retaining moisture within the skin's layer and the hair. You hear me? Hydration, on the other hand, refers to the process of replenishing and retaining moisture within the skin's layer. Hydration and moisture are two completely different things. It involves not only adding water, but also ensuring that the water is effectively absorbed and locked into the tissue to maintain optimum hydration levels. It says locked into the tissue, not locked into the hair. Water is not being locked into the hair shaft. When you have water locked into the hair shaft, then you have hydro fatigue. This is why you have to understand the science of the human body, because when you only read bits and pieces of things, you get confused. So when you read it, oh, I need a moisturizer, and then you're going through all of these shampoos and conditioners, and your hair is still dry, and you don't understand why. It's because a moisturizer does not penetrate. A moisturizer is on the top layer of the skin or the hair. So you're supposed to have a moisture and hydration balance, which we're going to get to in a second, right? But there is no moisture or hydration balance if you're putting highly comedogenic oils and butters and stuff on your hair. Because I'm sorry, we can go back to school. I'm talking when we was little. And this is not a rhetorical question. I need you to answer me in the chat. Do water and oil mix? I didn't think so. I love you. Okay. It involves not only adding water, but also ensuring that the water is effectively absorbed and locked into the tissues to maintain optimum hydration levels. So that should tell you, you guys, when it comes to hydration, hydration is on the internal. Remember, I always say we are working from the inside out, not the outside in. So when we're talking about hydration, we're talking about from the inside in, from the inside out. With hydration, the only way you're getting hydration is by what you're putting in the body. You get your hydration by drinking water, not by putting water in your hair. No, no. Because when there's water on the hair, the hydrogen bond is broken. You are supposed to set those bonds within the hair. So the hair is supposed to be dry. And the longer that the hair is wet, the longer that the cortex is swollen. And the longer the cortex and the follicle and that bulb is swollen, the more you push yourself into hydrofatigue. Hydration, on the other hand, refers to the process of replenishing and retaining moisture within the skin or hair, within. It involves not only adding water, but also ensuring that water is effectively absorbed and locked into the tissues for optimum hydration levels. That is why it's so important. Okay, it is so important that you really, really learn how to understand what different things that you can do to prevent moisture loss, right? Because a lot of times we'll think like, okay, I'm really helping my hair, but I'm locking in all of this moisture. But as you're locking in moisture and as you're adding all of these moisturizers are sitting on the top layer of the skin, on the top layer of the hair shaft. That's it, that's all. And it's blocking. So what's happening is you then have over processed your hair, or not over processed, you've overloaded your hair with so many different moisturizers that now the scalp cannot breathe. Now, because the scalp can no longer breathe, what is happening is all of those thousands, well, not thousands, hundreds of different forms of yeast and bacteria that live on the scalp that I taught y'all in a previous video. If you haven't seen them, check the video in the links below, because I made a full video and I gave you guys 21 names of the different forms of yeast and bacteria that live on the scalp. There are almost 1,000 more, right? Almost 1,000 more. But when you are putting all of these moisturizers that act as a barrier on that first layer of skin, you end up feeding those different forms of bacteria and yeast, and they're colonizing bacteria. So the more moisturizers you're adding to your hair, the itchier your scalp gets. And you'll also notice that the same women who over process their hair or overuse all of these products end up being the same women with seborrheic dermatitis, CCCA, and all of these other forms of alopecia. It all goes into all of the different practices you guys have been following over the last 20 years, following this Team Natural stuff. And at one point, we have to start putting pieces together ourselves. Y'all do not have to listen to me. Do what you want to do. Do your thug thizzle. Do your thing. 21, do your thing. But I'm giving you the information. You can go research this on your own, but all of the pieces fit. I did not make up this hair shaft disorder. Okay, any trichologist that's up in this thing knows those hair shaft disorders like the back of their hand, because you had to know them by heart to get them papers. What you mean? Okay. So, I'm gonna let you guys head over to the blog to read the rest of this on moisture, but I really wanted to dive into hair shaft disorders, right? So, this blog post is going to be left within the description box, but I do want to head over to see if you guys have any questions before I keep going. Hold on. I gotta get back to the top. Okay. The natural hair community quest for moisture. But that's the thing that I want, like moisture, and y'all do not have to take my word for it. Actually, I need at least one of y'all really quick to go search it, or like go search it yourself. Like somebody just Google what's the difference between moisture and hydration? What is moisture and hydration? Like Google it yourself. And I need everybody to do this. Like I really need everybody to get in the place where they're able to research stuff on their own. Like, cause today I'm doing a 1-2 punch. I keep looking in the corner because we're going live in the 7-day challenge at 1 in the PM. And so I'm making sure that I don't run over for them. Plus, I got to take a break in between y'all and them because it's a different energy over there. I'm just saying, I just want to bring in the facts though. So, moisture. Yes, moisture sits on top of the hair and skin. Somebody Google it for me, as I don't want you to take my word for it. I need you to look at it. Moisture, tell them, ask Google to give you the definition of moisture and the definition of hydration. They're two completely different things. Moisture sits on top of the skin. Hydration, if something's hydrating, it's going in the tissues, like deep within. Yeah. You sure do. Drink water, baby. You listening? Okay. All right. When I'm doing one-on-ones again. Okay. If I can have a transparent moment and tell y'all, I just don't want to offend nobody. So if I get enough ones in here, that's just gonna let me know that people are able to hear, and I could go ahead and speak freely on why I don't do one-on-ones. I just don't want to offend nobody. What about a dry climate region? Well, I'm in a dry I'm in a dry climate. I live in Vegas. So what about living in a dry climate? Okay, so okay. All right, guys. All right, guys. I'm gonna get back to that. When I get done with this, I'm probably gonna forget. So remind me. Okay. Question was, well, actually, I'm just leave that right there. So, okay. The reason that I stopped doing hair, and I'm just speaking freely. I'm sorry. Blah, blah, blah. The reason that I stopped doing hair in the first place is because I just did not want to deal with women, right? I didn't want to deal with people and the way that they acted. I didn't want to deal with the way that people don't follow directions and stuff. And then moreover, I didn't want to deal with like absorbing other people's energy like that. Like I just didn't want to do that anymore. And so to be away from that for over 5 years, whenever I do one-on-one consultations, it's almost like doing that. It's like being there in person again because like it may not seem like personal right now, like but it's like just like this. Like it's one-on-one. Like we chilling and um two reasons. First and main reason is I feel like a lot of people were booking consultations and not necessarily needing anything as it pertains to their hair, but like just needing somebody to vent and like talk to. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I am not a therapist. Like therapists are amazing. Like I just think that therapists are like some form of angel from another or some form of another person to be able to still function every day and absorb other people's energy like that, but I just cannot do that. And a lot of times before, like if the consult's an hour and we'll spend like 30 minutes with me telling me that your something this their mama died and then the dog died and then you're crying and I like I'm not being mean emotionally, I just cannot do it. And like how in the middle of somebody like how do you just say like, okay, can you we here for about your edges, I don't want to talk about your edges. And so that's a lot, right? So and then lastly, I stopped making it bookable because, and this is the part that I want to be transparent about. I do not do it for free. I do not. Okay, I do not. I do not. There are most people that book consultations with me, like that little girl. I think her picture's in here somewhere. Let me see. Oh, yes, it is. This little girl right here. This before and after. Like her mom booked a consultation. This was from a consultation, and then her mom booked a consultation with me. Like you don't gotta take my word for it. Here's her words right here. Like her mom booked the consultation with me, and then after her mom booked the consultation, I told her mother what to do about her daughter's hair, and then her daughter's hair went from this to this, right? But I'm not bringing that up to brag, but I'm very good at what I do. It is not free at all. And the reason that I took it off of the site is because like I would do a live like this and then people would go and request the appointment. But then when I send the invoice for them to pay, everybody's like, you charge for this? Oh my God, how much is this? And I understand that because we black, we supposed to look out for each other, but I don't when you check for the state of Nevada, right? Most of the women, like one of my clients went in to see, they had CCCA, multiple clients of mine went in to see their dermatologist, and their dermatologist gave them a prescription and everything else and was not able to fix it. But then they have a consultation with me and they're able to fix it. In the state of Nevada, to go see like the standard rate to go see a dermatologist is about about $180 to $200, right? So my price is like warranted and I'm really good at what I do. So I don't even though I'm really good at what I do, it's something that I'm offering to help, right? I do so many other things. Like I have the apothecary. Well, you can't see it. I'm like going like that. Like I have the apothecary, like I have this channel, I have the website, I have courses, like there's so many different things that I have. So when I do one-on-one consultations, I'm literally like saying, okay, this is one day that I'm gonna pause everything else in my life and I'm just gonna open myself up for y'all, like to help y'all. So when I allow people to book and then like I send out invoice and nobody's paying them, and then it's like, what? I got you, what? It's like, and I said that was the last thing, but I just don't want y'all to get offended. when you go in to see your dermatologist, right? And you pay your copay for that one day and that's it. You can't call and text the doctor every day and get messages back. Like that doesn't happen. But when I stopped, it's because like almost every time, not every client, oh my God, not every client. Some of y'all are so amazing. But sometimes one person emailing you with issues for 3 days straight it feels like multiple people when they're constantly emailing you all throughout the day. It doesn't feel, and like people be like, oh, one bad apple, but it doesn't feel like one bad apple when there's multiple people throughout the day. I mean, when there's one person sending you multiple messages throughout the day for 3 days in a row or whatever. And the thing is, it's like most people think that because they book a one-on-one consultation with me that one day, that one booking gets them like access to me for the rest of their life. And it's like, if I don't answer messages right away, I'll get messages like, this is so unprofessional. You're not responding to me. And it just makes me like, okay, this is reminding me of why I left the hair industry. So I just removed. I mean, it's not deleted from the site. I can unhide it right now if I wanted to while we're on here. But I just hid it on my website right now until I'm in a different energy where I want to do it again because it's just like, yeah. So I hope that answered people's questions. And Destiny, I'm gonna get to your question. I promise. Any tips for inspiring hairstylists? Yeah, they want to keep dealing with people making breakfast in their hair and putting. Yeah, like it's just I just don't. Hmm. You're welcome, Boo. Well, let me answer her question. Okay. Any tips for new aspiring hairstylists? Girl. Well, for what, girl? Shit, girl. Good luck, girl. Okay. Good luck, shit, right, girl. No, I would say this is gonna sound so like what? Let me turn this down. Cause it's serious, so I just want to turn it down because it's serious. Um, if there is anything that I would tell you, it would be for one, what do you like to do? Right? What is your favorite thing to do? Because I used to hear this from, and there's gonna be somebody's granddaughter that say it. It's always at least one person that says it, but so many cosmetologists say things like, or people in general is like, oh, a hairstylist should be able to do everything. She should be able to do everything. No, you should not. No, you shouldn't. Everybody has their specialty. There's nothing wrong with having a specialty and sticking to that craft and just running your own race. Like if there was anything that if I could go back and say something to old sin, it would be like keep your blinders on, run your race, don't look at nobody because it's like you'll be looking at all of these people and you'll be making all of these decisions based on what you think other people are doing, what you think is the right thing to do or the best thing to do based on the crowd, based on fads. And fads are always changing and you'll find yourself never knowing who you really are as a stylist because literally you just so far in this year alone, it's been at least 5 new fads as it pertains to hair. So if you're always chasing fads and you haven't like honed in on what you love to do, forget what's viral. Forget what's viral. Because when you're trying to chase viral stuff, you're not gonna get anywhere. You're gonna be running around like a chicken with your head cut off and you're gonna fall out of love with hair. That's one of the things that happened to me. You're gonna fall out of love with it, right? When it becomes something that you let go from an art form to something that you obviously you monetizing it because it's something that you do for a living. But I'm saying monetizing it as it pertains to caring about what people in the outside world who know nothing about what you're doing. Like just run your race. I want you to get a journal, right? And make like a 5-year plan, right? Where do you want to be in 5 years? And when I say where do you want to be in 5 years, I mean how many clients do you want on your books? Like how far in advance do you want to be booked up? What do you want to be known for? Do you want to be known for like the short hair? Like for example, like just for example, like for me, my specialty was natural hair. And when I say natural hair, I don't mean like team natural, like, oh, curly hair. No, I mean the hair growing out directly out of your scalp. Oh, excuse me. Whatever race you are, relax or version. Like relaxed or natural is a YouTube thing. Professionally, we don't say relaxed or natural. We say virgin hair or chemically processed hair, one or the other. Virgin hair or chemically processed hair, one or the other, right? And so you just have to decide which lane are you driving in. Now I'm not saying there's something wrong with driving in multiple lanes, right? Because I'm great at weaves, great at natural cuts, great at great at shortcuts. Like all of those things are great, right? But what do you love? Forget what's viral. What do you love? I focus on natural hair because I focus on virgin hair because it's something that I love. I love being able to transition or transform virgin hair into like from like this beautiful big curly mane to this straight silky smooth mane and then right back to a big mane and like to just have that flexibility. It was an art form for me. It was something that I love, so I went after that and nothing else. So I hope that that makes sense. But like, just go after what you love. Put your blinders on. Don't look at nobody. Don't make your business based on what customers are saying they want. Because I'm sorry, y'all, if y'all getting offended. Women do not know what the fuck they want. They do not know. Because if something popular pop off and a whole bunch of people start doing it, that's gonna be the new it thing. So why follow the crowd? Why not be the person that the crowd is following, right? Does heat open the cuticle? Yes. And cold water closes it. And cold air closes it. I feel that. I feel that people's energy can be so exhausting, but everybody treats cancer. It's like they're a licensed therapist. Oh my God. I don't understand. I don't understand. Yes. What's wrong? I don't understand why everybody treats cancer like licensed therapists, and I be trying to be mean. I try so hard. I try so hard. I try to be mean. Like you know how people ask, like, "What do you think about this?" And I be like, "Girl, you are dumb. That is so dumb." And they be like, "Really? I love you. Thank you. You are so real." I'm like, "I don't like you." What's wrong? Oh, are you still in my? No. My daughter comes and takes my shit when I'm so yeah, it's I'm not a therapist. Yes. Googled it and it says oil is a good moisturizer for skin, not hair. Yeah, guys. Yeah, guys. You welcome, Bill. Less is more from what I'm seeing. Less has always been more. How you doing? I'm doing good. How are you? The question knocks me off her socks. Yeah, her cousin like keep scalp clean, no wet detangling, no butters or oils on the scalps, no let hair air dry. I don't care what nobody says. Seeing is telling no lies. I'm not. What I got to lie for? I got 2 damn kids. I got my uterus cut open twice. I got 2 kids and a husband and a mama. And a dog. What am I gonna what? I really need y'all to ask yourself that. What do I gain? I gain more going along with everybody than I do not. Like I would make just as much as everybody else. Like, y'all do this moisturizer. Do this moisturizer. Oh. Cause remember, like I'm going live on I'm gonna start going live on Amazon again just so y'all stop playing with me. Because I am a A-list Amazon live creator. And I signed an NDA, so it's only so much I can say. But do y'all understand how much money I am leaving on the table because I literally refuse to be a product pusher? What do I gain? What do I gain? Because I'm not telling you not to use these products just so I could sell the 7-day challenge. I would sell the 7-day challenge and make even more money if I was product pushing. Because I can sell you the challenge and a product list. The women within the 7-day challenge already know they have a very small amount of products to use. I don't peddle products in there. I'm not constantly telling them to go buy stuff when they in the 7-day challenge. It doesn't work like that. If you have alopecia, can you be successful in the 7-day challenge? Yes, because we'll be breaking down. We're gonna get to the bottom of why you have the alopecia in the first place. But I would say, what type of alopecia do you have? Because once the hair follicle's dead, that's it. Now, if your follicle's dormant and you're just taking it as dead, everybody knows that. Like on my channel, it was some comments. Somebody was like, "You're spreading misinformation. You can awaken dead hair follicles." And like everybody, I always say that. But once the hair follicle's dead, that's it. But there's a difference between having dormant follicles and dead follicles. So you just have to figure out at which point you are. And most people, so yeah, if it's traction, if it's traction, you're good. Because if it's traction alopecia, if it's traction alopecia, most likely you also have telogen effluvium. And by resetting your hair growth cycle and your patterns, you're able to get yourself out of telogen effluvium. But I will say this, and everybody if there are any 7-day challenge members in here right now, drop a book, please. But the 7-day challenge is not a place where you can come and play around. You're not gonna come in there and it's gonna be like, Sia said, do this, mix it like this, and then boom, we good. No, you're gonna have to do the work. There's gonna be some learning. Yes, everything is already broken down, very easy for you to understand. It's a very simplistic process, right? But you have to stick to the plan, and it is such a simplistic process. And the most complicated part of the 7-day challenge is not the 7-day challenge. The most complicated part of the 7-day challenge is killing the old mind frame that existed in everybody or that exists in everybody. And that's one of the things that we're going to be going over today inside of the 7-day challenge. That's the lecture that we're going to have in our own private time. But of course, in the 7-day challenge, I give like real application. But yes. Actually, let me see if I can. I'm about to try to pull up. I'm about to pull up something really quick so y'all can see how many forms of. There are so many different forms of alopecia. Trying to get a list. I should have just went to, because I have a full like little slide of it, but I just didn't feel like going to it. Are y'all ready? Look, hold on. Hold on, player. The what was I saying? The slides we went over today, I'm gonna add that blog post in the description box. Where is it at? Oh, here it is. Look at this, y'all. Y'all ready? What type of bullshit page is this? What type of bullshit page is this? That's why you can't search the internet. They got 4 pages. We'll do a whole nother. I'll do a whole nother live. We're gonna have to do a whole live because that was the bullshit. That's what I get for being ill prepared. Hold on, I'm trying to find something else. That just pissed me off. We gonna talk. We moving on. And it was like it said at the top, like it said a list of 1,000. And so I'm like, oh, they got a list of 1,000, and then they listed 4. I ought to slap this shit. I ought to slap. I ought to slap. Just want to say I'm proud of you. Watching you for some years now. Your topics are awesome. Glad you switched. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. I don't think, well, it ain't no, I don't think my passion was never pleasing others. It's just when you start in the hair industry, right? And then you a nail tech, so you know it's the same thing. When I started doing hair, like having conversations explaining what I do to people and things that you deal with on YouTube was I never even considered it as something that could even be an option. It's not something that I in any way, shape, or form prepared for. And I'm not sure like, oh, people from the D are hard, but I'm also not from a place where I let people talk or say anything to me out of the way. And I'm not from a place where people just say whatever they want to say to you. So it was what the fuck is what am I? What is this? What is going on here? So it wasn't about people pleasing or anything like that. It's just like, wait, what? To go to school and to be licensed and tested on something to be like, no, that's not what that is. This is what this is. And it wouldn't be explaining it to people. I'm really glad you brought this up because in one of the next videos that I'm doing next week, one of the next reactions, it was a video that, and I've already talked to her. I got permission to repost it, and she was like, "Yeah, cool." But it was a video that it's like 7 years old, and I ended up deleting it because when she was a person who had really, really damaged hair, but she didn't want to trim it off. And I was like, cool with that. We had a little regimen that we were gonna put together, but women were so nasty to her in the comments to the point that she called me and was like, oh my God, like, cause she commented to defend me, right? Like, oh no, Seaman didn't do nothing wrong. She's amazing. She wasn't heavy handed. And it was like hundreds of women calling her out of her name and all types of stuff to the point where I just went ahead and took it down. Like she didn't mind, but I'm just like the energy of it. It was like for weeks she was going back and forth with people in the comments, and it was just so much, right? So it doesn't have anything to do with like, oh, pleasing people or anything like that. And mind you, I'm 33 going on 34 now, but this is like 23-year-olds then. So 23-year-old sin is like, what the fuck is going on? And then at 23, I'm looking at all of these women that are old enough to be my mom and my grandmother calling me out of my name on YouTube over little petty stuff. Like, so it was just, I didn't understand. I was 23 years old, fresh out of cosmetology school in La La Land, like we're brothers, we're happy, we're singing, we're colors. give me a high five. Like I was in La La Land, and it was like, bitch, it's like, whoa. So it wasn't about people pleasing. It just was a lot at the time. And I was young. I didn't get it. But you live and you learn. I had a biopsy done, and I feel like I wasn't given a lot of information, but the doctor did mention scarring. But I do believe it's hereditary, as my mom had it as well. But see, this is the thing, and don't get mad at me when I say this, but if a lot of the hereditary practices that we like to say, oh, my mama had it too. Yeah, your mom had that same type of balding, but it's not hereditary. Like, oh, because your mom had it, you had to automatically have it. Did your mother do the same practices that you do? Do you grease your scalp? Did your mother grease her scalp? These are the things that are hereditary. The practices are hereditary. And even when you're learning that scientifically, hereditary does not always mean in the genome. Sometimes it does mean the genome. A lot of times it does. But when it comes to hair, a lot of times it has nothing to do with genetics. It is all about the patterns that are passed down. Just like when it's like, oh, this family always has high blood pressure. It's not because genetically they have to have high blood pressure. It's because genetically they all eat the same. All of their diets are the same. They're all overweight. I could speak to this because that's how one side of my family is. So it's not always hereditary because the people that are in that same bloodline that change those practices don't have those same hereditary diseases. So it's not always hereditary. I would look at your mother's habits and patterns of her hair, and then look at your habits and patterns of your hair and see which habits and patterns of yours match your mother's. And then that'll be the way that you're able to determine if whether or not it's something in the genome. Well, I can't name them all by heart either, but I'm listening because you said only certain percentage of products absorb to your hair. Yeah, only 36%. You can Google that. I understand people can make things worse than they need to be. I work behind the scenes for a reason and deal with people when necessary. Exactly. That's why when people be like, Sin, we miss you, come back and do hair. It's like, I love y'all, but no. If people get on my nerve that much and on YouTube, oh my God, I could no. Imagine getting a whole bunch of cosmetology training only to be telling people to stop turning their hair into oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Hey, imagine getting your fucking eyebrow waxed off by a little fat little midget white lady from Russia. Hmm? That was my instructor. Fucking demonstrating demonstrating waxing. Snatch my whole eyebrow off. Like all I had, it was a comma. They was like, look at the commas, 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 commas. Like I had a comma over here. And then and all that shit I went through. Got my daddy walking past like, you better shut up before I wipe your eyebrow. Like I used to grease it and have horrible habits years ago. Once you learn, you do better. But it definitely took years to learn certain things are not good for your hair. It's not bad. When you know better, you do better. But one thing that everybody needs to understand is that there are not test dummies. Get a mannequin. Like because y'all have been watching YouTubers try like I'm gonna try this. Like when they say I'm gonna try this so you don't have to, they mean that shit. They're trying it so you don't have to unless you're gonna go get a mannequin. Because your hair is not like your skin. You try something on your skin will break out, it'll heal up, it'll be okay. Your hair is not like that. You have some low porosity hair and you don't know you have low porosity hair and you try a product. You try a product that's high in protein and be like, I'm gonna try it out anyway, seeing, and then it breaks down your hair shaft. That is it, sugar. Your hair is not like your skin. Once it splits and breaks, you have to cut it off. So, like oil and a creaser, for instance, is mind-boggling seeing so many hair growth oils advertised. And you know why it's advertised? Because they know you're going to buy it. It doesn't matter how and you know what? I'm proof that y'all still gonna buy it. I'm the reason that they gonna keep making them. Because no matter how many videos I make, no matter how much proof I show y'all, if the person that's advertising it in the video's hair is long enough, you're going to buy it. Oh, Beyonce uses it, you're going to buy it. Oh, if your favorite celebrity uses it, baby, you're going to buy it. That's why the end of it says trying to fit in where I don't belong. That is what I used to do. I do not do that anymore. I don't. That's why after this, I'm heading right over to the group with the 7-day challenge because we can speak freely. They have open minds. They are ready to receive and learn. And they are in a place where they're not like, oh, misinformation. They understand everything that I give. They need to go and research it for themselves and then implement things. It's just as simple as that. Player. The factors with genes are like the percentage is so low. The percentage is so low with people whose hair growth cycles are affected by the genome. The majority of it is because like the same women, if your mama got alopecia, you got alopecia, most likely your mama greased her scalp and you greased your scalp too. Most likely your mama used pink oil moisturizer, you use pink oil moisturizer too. You go down the line, almost every YouTuber that you know that got seborrheic dermatitis or they got eczema, they use pink oil moisturizer. Go down the line. Even the ones that are popping up with alopecia now, severe alopecia, shaving their whole heads. When you go look at their videos from 14 years ago, they were drenching their scalp in oil. Those were the same women that 12 years ago was teaching y'all to drench the hair in oil now have alopecia today, but they're blaming it on genetics. It's okay if they're not. And so I can't believe somebody are telling people it's a sin to trim their hands. And my thing is this, at this point, it's up to the people. If y'all are constantly believing liars, that's on you. If you're constantly believing, oh, trimming your ends is bad, that's on you. Because I did hair for 15 years and I was one of the only black women in the room. And those white girls used to come and they used to come in with wet hair and leave with wet hair. They literally just came in to get a trim. And they hair would be to their ass. And I would know them by name because they were there every 10 weeks like clockwork. And their hairstylist was my coworker. We went to lunch together sometimes. You're right across the hall from me. I know I'm seeing Ashley every Wednesday at 10:30. And she's only gonna be in there from 10:30 to 11. And then they're gonna go get brunch together. Cause that's what they do. And she paid her like $300. She only came for a trim. It ain't about the money that she paid for the trim. It's not about that. I'm talking about like the women with the hair to their butt do not feel the same way that women who don't have hair feel. The women who are scared to get trims and scared to cut their hair are the ones who can't grow hair. And women who will cut their hair in a minute are the women who got hair to their ass. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Used to love pink lotion. A bunch of people did. That's why the majority of black women got alopecia. Everybody love pink oil moisturizer. Pink oil moisturizer is just mineral oil. It's just colored mineral oil with a scent. What are your thoughts on moves on the entire head after braids? It's aesthetically pleasing for the internet. It's cute. It's aesthetically pleasing. You talking about it. It's all about things to get people talking. You talking about it. It's eye catching. I mean, the idea is to set the bonds and like keep flyaways down, but you know it's not necessary because it's something that just start happening and people been bringing here forever. But I don't think nothing negative about it. But yeah, girl, I will probably adhere to my butt. So, if you came in here late, then make sure you rewind it. But I have the main reason that I wanted to start it off talking about this is because I get so many people asking about single strand knots and like giving the abbreviations for it and split ends and all of those different things. And I really, really, really need people to understand that when it comes to single strand knots and when it comes to all of these different hair shaft disorders that you end up dealing with. Thank you, kitty cake. All of these different hair shaft disorders that you end up dealing with, I really, really, really need you guys to understand that it is so important that you really understand the real live structure of the human hair shaft. Because when you understand the real live structure of the human hair shaft, you get it. Single strand knot is the name that they made up on YouTube. And what's funny, this is the funniest part. This is the funniest part to me. Okay. Trichonodosis is the name of single strand knots, right? Single strand knots was made popularized or spread across the team natural community by the practices of the same people who made up the term single strand knots. So they made a bunch of practices that caused everybody to have trichinodosis, and then they renamed trichinodosis single strand knots. It's not called single strand knots, it's called trichinodosis. It's the actual name of this hair shaft disorder. And it used to be very, very rare. Trichinodosis used to be extremely rare because there are other like slight causes of them. All of those causes still include you not properly combing your hair, you not combing or managing or maintaining your hair in the proper way. All of them, right? All of them. So these are things that we all have to think about. Like they literally taught you patterns and routines that gave you all of these different hair shaft disorders and then told you, oh, get products, get a bunch of products. And so y'all go to a cosmetologist, y'all go to a hairstylist and say, oh, okay, like I really want to get my hair done over. Right? I've been natural for this long and I'm ready to get my hair straightened and all of that. And I already have permission to share these. And your hair will be super duper curly, and then you'll go to get your hair straightened, and then it goes from these beautiful curls to this. Because we are under the impression that because our hair is super duper curly, that it is going to automatically be healthy just because we're not putting heat in it. The first time I shared this picture, somebody's granddaughter was like, oh, you could tell her hair was damaged because her edges are thinner. Her edges are not thinner. Everybody does not have extremely dense hair. The average person has anywhere between 1 to 4 strands, and some people naturally have 2 to 3 strands naturally. And there's nothing that they could do to increase it, and there's nothing that they did to decrease it, right? But a lot of times you like again, curly hair swells. She went from this to this once it was straightened. And then granted, thank God she was able to get things done, right? She was able to, get it refreshed. But here's another one, right? Her hair was really, really curly at first. Like she was under the impression that she had really, really long and healthy hair because her curls look beautiful. But then when she went in to see a professional cosmetologist and they straightened her hair, it actually looked like this. And that is from different hair shaft disorders, like what we talked about with that second hair shaft disorder. With that second hair shaft disorder, you may think that your hair is super thick, but what's happening is you're slowly breaking down the hair shaft. So she went from this to this when it was blown out and straightened out, and then she ended up getting all of this hair cut off, right? And for whatever reason, there's so many people that lack the accountability. This is that hair shaft disorder under an electron microscope. So this is this hair shaft disorder. Trichonodosis. That is this hair shaft disorder, right? So this is the hair shaft disorder that most women have when you go to straighten your hair and it's like, oh, I straightened it, but it's still real frizzy. That's because most likely under an electron microscope, this is what your ends and what your hair shaft actually looks like. So it's coming off like looking frizzy. Here's another hair shaft disorder, right? Hair shaft disorders are for real, but they've been pushing all of these products onto y'all, and y'all are under the illusion that your hair shaft looks like this, and it doesn't. It feels like that because y'all been doing the lock method and y'all been layering all of these products on your hair, so you think that your hair feels like this, but then when you actually detox, your hair shaft looks like this for real. It looks like this for real. And then you'll use a product and say, "Oh, it dried out my hair." You use professional products and say, "I don't like professional products because they dry out my hair." No, they don't. They don't dry out your hair. What they do, they remove all of those layers of products, right? And it kills the illusion. The illusion was this. This was the illusion. The illusion was this. This was the illusion. And then you get a detox, blow dry your hair, and then you get reality. Because with curly hair swells when it is wet. This is swollen hair. Curly hair swells when it is wet. But then when it is stretched out like this is curly hair stretched. Curly hair stretched, you can see the truth. And when you were able to see the truth, when you're able to see her hair stretch, you can see what's really going on. So then she was able to cut it off, and now you can see her true density. So look, it looks as if she has thin hair. She does not have thin hair, it's just broken. She just has a hair shaft disorder. But once the hair that's broken is removed, then boom, we back at it. So these are things that I really, really want everybody to think about because as it pertains to different hair shaft disorders, they all stem from over manipulation, right? They all stem from the mechanical damage caused by the different patterns and routines that everybody follows on a regular basis. So I just wanted to get to all of those things. We made good time, right? I wanted to give myself a little time before we went live in the 7-day challenge. But give me a 2 if you understood everything that I was saying today. Give me a 2. Let me know how you're feeling, if everything was easy to understand. Team Naturals would tell women if they stretch their hair in any other method besides braid out, there's something wrong with them. Yeah. Thank you for always bringing the truth. It's my pleasure. Even when a lot of people didn't want to hear it or wanted to see it, thank you. It's my pleasure, Bill. I don't mind. Cause ain't nobody gonna do nothing about it. I've been talking the same stuff for a long time, and don't nobody do nothing about it. All they do is make their little live videos talking shit, seeing versus these nuts, nigga. Like we're good over here. We're good. I got y'all. I got y'all. And that's why I say I'm putting the information out here. A lot of people are gonna see my videos and you're not gonna listen to me and you're gonna go do it, all your hair gonna fall out. And then in a year you're gonna be like, oh my God, that one girl told me not to, and then you're gonna come back and I got you. My dad favorite quote from the Bible was every day I put before you life and death. I would that you choose life, but whatever you choose, baby, whatever you choose. Whatever you want to do, my baby, is what you want to do. I'm chilling. It's your choice. Either way, you got it. Either way, you got it. How do I feel about herbal rinses? It disgusts me. Herbs go in your body, not in your hair. Did you notice before Team Natural started falling off, nobody was talking about herbal nothing, and as soon as herbalists pop up, as soon as herbs are the new thing, now everybody's putting herbs in your hair. Putting herbs in your hair is the fastest way to go bald. So everything works until it doesn't. Just like I told y'all about rice water. The only reason herbs are working for hair growth with people is because most women have bacteria infections in the scalp. And all herbs have antibacterial and antimicrobial properties. So the herbs are killing the bacteria in the forms of yeast that have overpopulated and colonized on the scalp. But the scalp is supposed to be balanced. It's supposed to be an equal number of good and bad bacteria. When something is antibacterial and antimicrobial, it kills all bacteria, good and bad. So it's going to work for a minute, balancing everything out, killing the bacteria that you didn't remove by simply just shampooing your goddamn hair. Then once all of the bad bacteria is gone, then it's going to start killing the good bacteria, and then you're going to go bald. So that's going to be the new pandemic. Watch. The new pandemic, after all of this is over with, everybody's going to jump on the whole herbal rinse thing, and then everybody's going to start going bald another round. We're going to have another round of baldness from everybody putting herbs in their hair. So hope that answers that question. Yeah. So, all right, guys, I love y'all. 7 Day Challenge members, get your pencils and the papers together. You guys have a mini lecture coming, like a mini lecture. Like some of you guys are in a little bit of trouble, just a little bit of trouble, just a little bit, not a whole lot, but just a little bit. So, 7 Day Challenge members, make sure you get over there. I'm gonna go drink some juice and then I'm gonna be over there. But I'm going to leave this video link up. Give me a couple of wait, no, actually I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it right now, Charlie. Right now, Charlie. Because I want you guys to go and I want you guys to read the rest of this blog post because I did explain the importance of leave-in conditioners. I just didn't want to go into it today. Excuse me. But read that blog post. I'm going to put it in the description box in a minute as well. And then Kitty K, can you do me a favor and put this link to this blog post in the comments too so they can like click it. Or can you like pin it for me, boo? But yeah. Oh, Charlie, you bit me. You bit me, Charlie. I just got rid of the majority of no. You bit me, Charlie. Charlie, you bit me. You bit me. Okay. I love you guys. Make sure you save this video. I'm going to rest tomorrow. That was a fucking lie. I have to finish my taxes. And then I'm gonna rest tomorrow, and then I'm gonna be back to filming on Monday. Not Monday, Monday. I'm gonna be filming on Monday. And then after I get done filming on Monday, your next video, we going herbalization on Tuesday. We calling it Tea Time Tuesday. Oh, it just came to me just then. That's what it's gonna be. So on Tuesdays is gonna be our herbal day. So Tuesday is gonna be Tea Time Tuesday. Oh my God. Oh, 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 baby. Oh, kitty cake. Put it in the comments for me. Tea Time Tuesday. Oh, oh, oh. Another round of baldness. I'm telling you, it's gonna be another round of bald head skittle diddle this because right now they are in the luxury phase of balding, like it's sweeping the nation. You know how like on winter is coming, winter is approached, winter is here for the greasers, for the skittle diddles, for the rice nipple juicers. For the for the pickle juice ladies. Mm, winter is here. But the next round of baldness is after this one is here. Everybody gonna recoup, and then they're gonna be like, "I'm a herbalist too," because everybody's a fucking herbalist now. I'm one too, but I was one before. Anyway, and there's gonna be another round. Spring Dean, the heroin bling, something. I'm gonna think of something, but I'll see you guys again on Tea Time Tuesday. Okay, 7 Day Challenge members, get in there. I'm gonna get some tea. Okay, and just quote me on it because all of my OGs that's in here, we had this conversation with rice water. We had this conversation with rice water, and they was like, "What did it What is it? You don't know nothing about nothing. Rice water is good for us. We ain't gonna have alopecia." And now in 2024, oh my God, Sin, we bald in a motherfucker. Oh my God. So winter's gonna be here. My next winter. Mm, bald is beautiful. Bald is herbalized. That's because y'all been making yourself into fucking milkshakes and smoothies and stuff. Putting bananas and apple juice in your hair. Okay, so I gotta go because I'm gonna be late. Okay, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all on Tea Time Tuesday. If you're watching this on replay, put it in the comments for me. Tea Time Tuesday. And let me know what you sipping on. And if you don't got no tea to sip on, baby, check the link in the description box, player. I sound like a radio host. Smooth jazz. V98.7. And before you go, make sure you tune in. Get your sweetheart, pull him close to you and tell him, "Baby, I love you." No, but for real, make sure on Tuesday that you have your tea, right? Because we're going to have that post around tea time. So tea time is going to be like around 3 for me, 6 for you, okay? Okay. Now, that's what we about to go. I already know because kitty cake is on the bull. Bald is beautiful, but bald on accident isn't. Bald is beautiful, but bald by accident is some bullshit. You hear me? It's some bullshit. Bald is beautiful except for when it's on accident. On accident is some bullshit. You hear me? I love you. Thank you, Bill. Tea time Tuesday. Ooh, I love it. Okay, so I'll see y'all Tuesday. I love you. Bye. Bye.